All right, everybody, welcome back to our Tri-State Trends podcast. I got my girl Junell Watson with me, who is just a beast. And you know what I like about her? She's refreshingly honest. And here's what we're going to do today, Junell. I want to talk to you about some of the things you're doing that is going to keep you Hall of Fame ready. And I want to talk about some of the things that you're learning this year as you're trying to gain back your momentum. So it's an honor to have you on. You have had so far a stellar year, and you're going to continue to have that and finish with Hall of Fame numbers. You have a team that's growing. And let's just talk about the year, the ebbs and flows of the year, and some of the things you're doing. But before we do that, how are you doing today?
I'm wonderful and honored to be here. So thanks for having me.
Well, you represent FFL Verum Vitae, and that's a growing group, and obviously a bunch of people who really know what they're doing and have chosen telesales as a route for success, and you've been a huge pillar in that. So let's talk a little bit about 2023 for you. You're already halfway to Hall of Fame, a little bit over halfway to Hall of Fame, and you have a roadmap and a plan to get to it. So let's talk a little bit about some of the ebbs and flow of 2023 for you.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's funny when I bring on new agents, I always tell them that this is a roller coaster and they get to decide what type of roller coaster they want to be on. And so it's funny that I have kind of chose a rough roller coaster these last few months, but I'm in a valley currently, but climbing back up.
On the way out.
Exactly. So building back up that momentum so I can finish the year out strong and reevaluate at my calendar, my priorities, and the power of saying no to people so that I can reach my goals, because the instant gratification is something that's hard for me to say no to. So definitely keeping focus and having them right in front of me at all times, my goals, is what makes it a lot easier to say no.
Think about that. We talk about the instant gratification. Like everyone struggles with that in one shape, form, or fashion, whether it's, saying yes to your kid to go play, or taking a day off at the beach, or leaving the work day early to you know what I mean? It's just like, but when you think about the fact that you've already had a very successful year, and you're kind of beating yourself up for like this kind of summer swoon, if you will, but you help 15 families a month in the summer, and you've already helped 15 families for the first week of August. So, I don't know if you should be so hard on yourself. I do think that you're learning stuff, though. What are some of the things that you're picking up with this, learning how to say no? But there's a lot more to it than that, because there's all kinds of things that you're training and teaching yourself to become a better version of yourself. Can you break that down for us?
I'm learning constantly growing. I mean, if you aren't growing, you're dying. So I'm constantly learning, constantly implementing new things. And my goal is to create something that's duplicatable. So it's like, yeah, sometimes it takes more time to implement those systems and build that foundation. But if I don't know what I'm doing to make myself successful, then how can I expect any new agents that I bring on to be able to duplicate it? And so I've kind of taken a step back, and another thing that I've realized is you have to reach out, and Matt Borsch will tell you his roadmap is everything. And I have now reverted back to it. It's true. If you follow the roadmap, you're going to hit your numbers. And so what does my roadmap look like? And then also making it relevant to your personal goals, because yes, hitting Hall of Fame is incredible and you get all those accolades, but at the end of the day, I'm not doing this to make Hall of Fame and to get a red jacket, because it's not like anyone wears the red jacket, or actually really, like, what is it in my actual life? And so that's kind of where I'm at is, and so I've now sat down with all of my agents and really realized, because we always tell people like the goal is Hall of Fame, but that might not be everyone's goal, and that might not be what they need or want to have their successful life or have success in what that looks like to them. And so every single person on my team has a different goal, and we have now broken it down so they know exactly what their daily activity is and what their numbers should be, so that hitting their goals is a no-brainer. And so yesterday when we did our end of the week recap calls, it's kind of cool because now I don't really have to say anything. They give me their numbers, and then they know what they did wrong or what they did right, and then what they're going to do better the next week. And then they're all on pace to hit their goals for this month. And if we all hit our goals this month, then I hit my goal. and so it's kind of just leading by example and being like, and it's funny because I actually just had a new agent. He got on live Dows for the first time the other day, and I got off, and he said it was like the teacher left the room. and I said, because I've always been told that your agents will work half as hard as you do and care half as much as you do. So it definitely resonated. And when my numbers dipped when I was on vacation in the summer, my whole team's numbers did.
Isn't that
and so
crazy?
it's leading by example for sure, and being like, if I have to be the ideal agent that I want to have on my team.
Isn't that's so real? But that's the way you say it. It's so tangible, right? Like, I just watched your Zoom go down as you explained it, right? And that's like what actually happened, right? It's a lot of pressure, right?
But it's accountability, so it's good. It is it definitely makes you want to do better.
100%. Whenever there was, what's the word I'm looking for? Holidays. When I was in the field and I was leading, same thing. The less leaders you have, the more you have to lead. Because you're leading so wide. The more leaders you have, the more you're leading through depth, and you're leading with and through your lead. In other words, the burden gets lighter the more leaders you have. But you're always leading. Now, so in your situation, where you have a team that, you're galvanizing, and you're teaching, and you're molding, and you're onboarding, and you're training, they need to see you. They need to see you. So whenever that was holidays, I used to work extra hard during the holidays because I was just trying to reel in the people that needed me to work. There were going to be people that were like, bye, right? Regardless. But there were some people that needed to see me so that they could model the same thing. And then I found my time during less celebratory times for everyone else, right? Which is a lot easier because there's no spot. Whenever retail America puts a spotlight on something, I should be working harder, not less, because they're selling stuff. They're selling, beaches and vacations and the mall and shopping, and they're selling stuff. The supermarkets are selling the 4th of July. They're telling me what I should be doing. I'm either buying or I'm not, right? That doesn't mean you can't take vacations. That's not even what this is about. We're talking about your learning curve and some of the things you're picking up, and it's fascinating that, is this your first time experiencing this?
No, and I mean, I guess at this multitude,
right?
I feel like what's interesting is that just resonated with me because I actually came from the hospitality industry. And when people were celebrating, we were always working harder. And so that was a huge reason why I got out of the hospitality industry. And because I wanted to have a life. And so it's interesting because I now have also, in part of me taking a step back and really realizing what it takes to build something, and another step on the roadmap is treating this like a business, because it is a business. And I've built businesses before, and I was working 16 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I was putting my blood, sweat, and tears into it. And I have to look at it and yes, you can do this a lot quicker, but I still have to do all of the things it takes to build a
Right.
successful business. And so it's like I keep having to humble myself and go back to the foundational roots of this is a business and we're building a business and we have to treat it like a business. And I think that it's so important to like realize that. And the other thing is everyone thinks everyone's an overnight success, right?
Right.
They don't see the grind, they just see the success. And so I think that is one of the biggest things, is realizing what it actually takes. And now in my recruiting strategy, that's one of the biggest things. Is before it was like I would have taken anyone who would bite, but then I put my blood, sweat, and tears into them, and then I'm like, why aren't you doing anything? Pick up the phone. And now I only want you on my team if your goals are so big they scare you, because then I know that you have that whatever it takes mentality. Otherwise, I can't want it for you more than you want it for yourself. And then I feel like a failure if you aren't successful, when really it has nothing to do with me. And that was a huge aha moment for me as well. Like now it's quality over quantity.
I love this so much, because everyone kind of goes through their version, and everyone has their own version of their aha moments. What you're learning the most is you. And that's a reflection now of what your business is looking like, and what you're saying to yourself about your business, and what you're saying to yourself about the people you are choosing to work with. It's never going to be perfect, but you're starting to build a semi-criteria or / a constitution about your business, what you want it to look like and feel like, so that it makes work fun and exciting for you to work, because that's important, right? Like you're doing well. You're making money. You know how to make money, helping families. Well, if you're going to pour your time and energy and extra effort into people, well, then you want it to look and sound and walk and talk a selective way. The next step to that is you're going to realize it never walks and talks and smells a certain way forever. But it's great, the fact that you're coming into your own as a business owner. You're recognizing, hey, yes, I built business. Yes, I forgot. Oh, it takes this blood, sweat, and tears at every level, 6-7 days a week. Why? Because if you're not the one doing it, it ain't getting done. And that's a top-down kind of mindset that really means you have to be the number one steward of your business. Now, obviously, there's going to be delegation and things, partners that you work with that can do things better than you can, and they'll do those things, and you'll do, and staff and whatever. But at the end of the day, I like the revelation that's taking place right now. Let's say you're talking to a new agent. Are you communicating this stuff you're talking to a new agent that wants to build. How are you communicating this to them?
It's the same thing of like, because it is hard. And I actually had a new agent. He brought on one of his roommates, and within and it's sometimes French and business don't mesh. And so it's like really figuring out who do you want to be in business with, and Joe Bassett the other day said, if I don't want to sit by a campfire and have a s'mores with you, then I don't want to work with you. And I definitely tell people, like I had another new agent who hasn't even started yet. And she goes, oh, I have a handful of friends that I want to bring on with me. And then we talked about each one of them. And then she's like, oh, okay, I don't want him anymore. And so it's just kind of interesting when you really realize like what you're building. And then also like there is a liability aspect to taking on an agent, and you're going into business with them, and a business relationship is like a marriage, and the amount of time we spend with each other is crazy. And so if we don't have that synergy, then it's not gonna be fun. And every time I see your name pop up on my phone, I'm gonna cringe. And so it's definitely important for you to want to be around the people that you are bringing on your team. Like the negativity, like even on live dials the other day, we had someone hop in our breakout room and they were asking a question, and then all of a sudden they didn't actually want our help. They just wanted to complain, and then they left, and everyone was like, oh my God. They were like, that brought the whole energy of our room down. And I was like, because it is, they affect your mindset. They affect your mood. It affects everything. And we want, like, when I talk to all the agents in the morning and they're like, all right, this is what I got on my agenda for today. This is what I'm going to do. They're like, let's get it. Like, it's always like, all right. And it's that accountability and that excitement that we keep each other going. And because it's hard. And especially when you lose momentum, it's hard to get up. But the best time to to sell a policy is right after you sold a policy. And like, once you become a well-oiled machine and you get that momentum back, it gets really fun really quickly. Otherwise, it's not fun.
I love it. Walk us through the last 5 months of the year on your road to Hall of Fame and the goals you have for your team.
Absolutely. So I want to hit logo by the end of the year. And based on all of my agents' goals, even without the new ones starting, the ones that are currently writing, if they all hit their goals, we should make it no problem. So that's kind of like our drop dead, our bottom line goal. Obviously, it should hit higher than that. I obviously want to hit Hall of Fame, but I'd like to hit it by November, so that I can lose my momentum again for the holidays. But so that obviously I'll still work.
So you learned nothing. Got it.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
But keep working, but not have the stress of having to take it. Like, my goal for December is 20 families. I feel like that's a reasonable, that's the easy one.
That's so good. I was not expecting you to do that, but that's the truth. I'm fine with the truth. So
it's true. And then, January we hit it again.
So you need to help, what, 45 families a month? Mm-hmm. Between now and November, right?
Yep.
What was your pace before you originally lost your momentum?
In June I hit 40 families. And then I just had my dip in July for vacation, and then we're ramping back up in August.
Okay.
So we'll get there. I have my non-negotiables, and as long as I follow,
you know what to do. I'm not confused. I'm not sleeping on you. You know what to do. I'm excited for you. This was a great call, a great podcast. I think, the aha moments that you're having right now are exciting, very exciting. And the more you push through this and start understanding how to manage this tension, the better and more fun it's going to get for you. So thank you for trending with us today, Junell. I appreciate you jumping on. You have infectious energy, and I was excited to have you as a guest.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, everybody. Tri-State Trending, Junell Watson. Appreciate you so much. Keep listening. We love you. God bless. Thanks, Junell.